Once upon a time, in the ancient Kingdom of Saba, nestled in the southern reaches of Arabia, present-day Yemen, a flourishing realm emerged between the 8th century BCE and 275 CE. This vibrant era was abruptly halted when the neighboring Himyarites conquered the prosperous kingdom. The tale of Saba echoes through the ages, gaining prominence in various historical and religious texts. One of the most famous narratives unfolds in the biblical book of Kings and Chronicles, recounting the visit of the Queen of Sheba to the wise King Solomon. This captivating story, richly woven into religious texts like the Quran and the Ethiopian Kebra Negist, has endured with its own unique variations. Saba's golden age was marked by its opulence, attributed to thriving trade along the incense routes linking southern Arabia with the Mediterranean port of Gaza. Biblical and Quranic references consistently highlight Saba's wealth and commercial success, with the Queen of Sheba's tale underscoring the kingdom's affluence. Before the 8th century BCE, trade in the region was dominated by the minions of the Kingdom of Main. However, around 950 BCE, the Sabaeans rose to prominence, exerting control and taxing goods traveling north from their southern neighbors. Saba's trade faced challenges during the Ptolemaic dynasty, as the Ptolemies favored sea routes over land travel, causing a decline in Saba's prestige until their eventual subjugation by the Himyarites. The Queen of Sheba, identified with Saba, embarked on a legendary journey to Jerusalem to witness the wisdom of King Solomon. Showering him with opulent gifts, including 120 gold talents, the queen's generosity mirrored the reputed wealth of the Sabaean monarchy. Despite the grandeur of this biblical tale, historical evidence outside the scriptures and later writings is lacking, leaving the existence of the Queen of Sheba a tantalizing mystery. In alternate versions of the story found in the Targum Shani and the Quran, embellishments abound, adding layers of intrigue to the queen's visit. The Ethiopian Kebra Negist takes the narrative even further, introducing a romantic twist involving Solomon and the queen, culminating in the birth of a son destined to transport the Ark of the Covenant from Jerusalem to Ethiopia. The enigmatic identity of the Queen of Sheba has sparked speculation, with some suggesting an Ethiopian origin, given linguistic or cultural associations with the Saba in Africa. The question of her true origins remains unanswered, but if this illustrious queen did exist around 970 to 931 BCE, the likelihood is that she hailed from the prosperous region of southern Arabia, flourishing along the incense routes. And the incense routes, also known as the spice routes, traced the journey of merchants from the fragrant shores of southern Arabia to the bustling port of Gaza on the Mediterranean. These ancient highways, at their peak between the 18th century BCE and the 2nd century CE, spanned over 1,200 miles, offering a lifeline for commerce. Each caravan, laden with precious cargo, embarked on a 65-day odyssey, punctuated by stops in diverse cities along the route. Among the treasures exchanged, none were as coveted as frankincense and myrrh, sourced from the coastal groves of southern Arabia and beyond. These aromatic delights, along with other exotic goods from India via the port of Kani, fueled the prosperity of the region. Leading the caravan were the Nabateans, masters of the trade, who secured their dominance by ingeniously controlling water sources. Their strategic wells, hidden from prying eyes, ensured swift and cost-effective travel, propelling them to wealth and influence. Cities like Avdat, Haluza, Mamshit, and Shifta flourished under their stewardship, becoming bustling hubs of commerce. Yet, behind the scenes of this bustling trade lay the Kingdom of Main, initially serving as the nerve center of distribution. As the minions ruled the incense trade, the Sabaeans of Saba gradually ascended, seizing control around 950 BCE and firmly establishing their dominance by the 8th century BCE. With Saba at the helm, trade routes extended far and wide, reaching the distant realms of Babylon, Uruk, Memphis, and the Levant. The Assyrian king Sargon II's acknowledgement of their trade routes underscores the far-reaching influence of Saba's commerce. Meanwhile, the Egyptians, renowned for their trade with Punt and Nubia, eagerly engaged with the riches of southern Arabia, cementing a network of exchange that spanned continents. Under the reign of Sabaean kings, epitomized by the Mukaribs, Saba flourished, marked by grand architectural endeavors. The Marib Dam, a testament to their ingenuity, harnessed the ravages of nature, transforming the landscape into fertile farmlands. Pliny the Elder's accounts paint a vivid picture of Saba as a verdant oasis, earning it the epithet Fortunate Arabia or Arabia Felix among the Romans. Agriculture thrived under the nurturing flow of the dam's irrigation, yielding abundant crops of dates, barley, grapes, millet, wheat, and a variety of fruits. Yet, it was the aromatic trees, yielding precious frankincense and myrrh, that formed the backbone of Saba's wealth. Strabo's words echo through time, praising the opulence of Saba's elite adorned in gold and silver, dwelling amidst the splendor of inlaid ivory and precious stones. As the scent of prosperity wafted through its great cities, Saba stood as a testament to human ingenuity and enterprise. Temples adorned the landscape, serving as centers of worship and commerce, while the king, both ruler and high priest, presided over the religious rites that underscored the kingdom's cultural richness. And, as the Kingdom of Saba basked in its golden age of prosperity, its religious beliefs and practices wove seamlessly into the fabric of daily life. The Sabaean faith bore striking resemblances to the ancient religions of Mesopotamia, where gods were revered as creators and bestowers of blessings upon humanity. At the helm of the Sabaean pantheon stood Almaka, the moon god, reminiscent of Mesopotamia's venerable deity, Nana, or Sin. In neighboring Hadramaut, Almaka was even known by the Mesopotamian moniker of Sin, highlighting the cultural exchanges that flourished along the incense routes. Almaka's counterpart, or perhaps daughter, was Shamsh, the radiant sun goddess, echoing the attributes of Mesopotamia's Utushamash. Other deities, shrouded in mystery, seem to embody aspects of Almaka and Shamsh, their domains delineated by specialized areas of influence. Worshippers offered incense, livestock, and land to these divine beings, nurturing a symbiotic relationship that likely enriched a privileged priestly class akin to those of Mesopotamia and Egypt. Though the specifics of religious rituals remain elusive, it's presumed that priests, if they existed, followed established models seen in neighboring civilizations. The gods were believed to be constant companions, guiding mortals through life and beyond, fostering intimate personal relationships with their devotees. Public worship likely thrived during festivals, where communities came together to honor their divine patrons amidst rituals of divination and prophecy. In death, the departed were embalmed, anointed with myrrh, and laid to rest with grave goods, symbolizing a journey into the realm of the divine. Meanwhile, the scent of frankincense ascended from temple altars, carrying prayers heavenward in a fragrant offering to the gods. Yet, despite their literary prowess, the Sabaeans left scant traces of their religious beliefs in written records. Monumental inscriptions, though abundant, offer little insight into religious practices beyond the most basic information. These texts, primarily royal decrees and temple dedications, serve as testaments to the reigns of kings and the expansion of Sabaean influence through military conquests. Under the leadership of esteemed monarchs like Karibil-Watar, Saba embarked on military campaigns that reshaped the political landscape of southern Arabia. Karibil-Watar, hailed as the first ruler to bear the title of Malik or king, earned epithets like "he who destroys buildings" and "he who carries out the will of El" through his conquests. Driven by divine will, Malik Karibil-Watar unleashed his forces upon the kingdom of Azin, decimating its cities and establishing Saba's dominion. The spoils of war flowed into Saba's coffers, enriching its sacred temples and cementing its reputation for opulence. Merchants traversing the incense routes, however, grumbled under the weight of exorbitant taxes imposed by Almaka, the god-king of Saba, yet their complaints serve as testament to the kingdom's thriving economy. As Saba's military prowess expanded its borders and its religious fervor kindled the flames of devotion, the kingdom stood poised on the precipice of greatness, its destiny intertwined with the whispers of gods and the clashing of swords. For centuries, Saba had flourished along the bustling trade routes, its prosperity intertwined with the fragrant whispers of frankincense and myrrh. Yet, with the rise of the Ptolemaic dynasty in Egypt, the tides of commerce shifted. The allure of maritime trade lured Egypt away from the land routes, bypassing Saba altogether. No longer the nexus of trade, Saba's fortunes dwindled as Egypt forged direct links with the coastal city of Khani. Egyptian barges glided down the Red Sea, bypassing Saba's once thriving markets. Even the founding of Egyptian colonies along the Red Sea coast further marginalized Saba, relegating it to the periphery of trade networks it once dominated. But Saba's decline was not merely economic. It was hastened by the march of conquest. The Himyarites, rising to power in the region, first subdued neighboring Caravan before turning their sights on Saba itself. By 275 CE, Saba had fallen, succumbing to the might of its ambitious neighbors. With the Himyarites ascendant, a new chapter unfolded in the annals of Saba's history. Embracing Judaism and consolidating their rule, the Himyarite monarchs swept aside the polytheistic traditions of old. Yet, as Christianity gained ground, the kingdom plunged into religious strife, with tales of persecution and bloodshed staining its legacy. In 525 CE, the kingdom faced another calamity as the mighty Marib Dam succumbed to the ravages of time, unleashing a deluge that swept away the remnants of Saba's glory. Though attributed to divine retribution in some accounts, the more likely cause was the dam's age and neglect, compounded by the relentless march of time. As the floodwaters receded, Saba lay submerged beneath the sands of time, its once great cities abandoned and forgotten. The rise of Islam in the 7th century further obscured its memory, relegating Saba to the realm of myth and legend. Yet, amidst the ruins, echoes of Saba's splendor lingered, beckoning scholars and archaeologists to unearth its secrets. Though lost to the annals of history, Saba's legacy endured, a testament to a bygone era when gods walked among mortals and kingdoms rose and fell beneath the watchful gaze of the heavens.